it definitely seems like doom and gloom when it comes to Florida and the real estate market. It is shifting for sure. That being said, so ask yourself, what kind of place makes boomers, millennials, Gen Z all want to move in together? This one does. You've seen the headlines: rising prices, insurance chaos, Florida housing market is on the edge. But then there's Lakewood Ranch. So for the 7th year in a row, 7, count them, Lakewood Ranch was voted the #1 multi-generational community in the whole entire United States. Not a retirement village, not a luxury enclave, a full-blown master plan town where first-time buyers, growing families, and retirees live side by side. And guess what? They like it. So how did it happen? And most importantly, is it still worth moving here in 2025? So if you're thinking about moving to Florida, this might be the one video that helps you make a mistake and maybe just helps you find a home. So let's start with the big headline. Lakewood Ranch sold over 2,200 homes in 2024. Now, keep in mind, this is 2025. That is not the scenario, but let's go back a little bit. That is more than some entire cities, but it's how that number breaks down that tells the real story. So nearly half of all the buyers were move-up buyers and multi-generational families, people not just looking for square footage, but for a better way of living together. 23% were entry-level buyers. Yes, you heard me right, even with interest rates hovering around 7%. 16% were retirees. I'm sorry, what was that number, Adam? 16% were retirees. That's a topic for a different video. And 12%, they were actually high-end luxury buyers with purchases that exceed up to $6.5 million. Now, of course, you are entitled to your own opinion, but the facts say differently. This is a fully functioning housing ecosystem, entry level to estate level, built to serve everyone from young professionals, grandparents, and everyone in between. So when people say that Lakewood Ranch is the #1 multi-generational community in the United States, this is not just a clever marketing line. We're talking about families making real moves in big numbers and doing it right here. And here's the kicker. Even in 2025, while other Florida communities are slowing down, Lakewood Ranch is actually building a dozen new neighborhoods just this year. Now, I'm going to say it again, 2025, it is a different beast. It definitely has slowed down, but the builders, they're still building. Why? Because demand is not fading. Let's face it, 2025 is not exactly a stress-free time to buy a home. I can tell you firsthand. So yeah, interest rates, they're hovering around 7%. Insurance premiums, they are still a disaster. We got a new president, and you can say what you want about the president, but uncertainty, not really great for the economy. And then, of course, the Florida real estate market is kind of going through a little change right now. So are you ready? Here is the million-dollar question. Why is Lakewood Ranch still selling? And it's not just surviving, it's actually thriving, because it was built just a little different. So before the first homes went up in the 90s, the developers laid out the groundwork for a fully independent, self-sustaining community. We're talking about 150 miles of trails and sidewalks and nature corridors. Oh, by the way, this is Greenbrook Adventure Park. Love coming here to film videos. If you watch the channel, you know I do a lot here. There are over 13 parks spread across 33,000 acres. There are top-rated schools already built in this area, a full hospital that is even expanding right now as we speak, 3 town centers, restaurants, bars, grocery stores, retail, so much to do here. Most communities, generally speaking, they react to growth, but Lakewood Ranch, they plan for it. And that's why when other towns are playing defense, Lakewood Ranch is actually playing offense, investing, expanding, improving. Because when you do build it right, people stick around. And when they do, others follow. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what multi-generational really means. It's not just putting some 55 plus homes next to a family neighborhood and then calling it a day. It's deliberately designing a town that works for different needs and different life stages without anybody feeling out of place. There are approximately 45 different villages within Lakewood Ranch with different builders, different amenities, different HOA structures, different price ranges. And this to me has always been one of the coolest things about Lakewood Ranch. You can live near your parents, but not on top of them. You can retire, but still walk to lunch with your grandkids. You can start small, you can move up without ever having to leave Lakewood Ranch. It's kind of like a town that was built to grow with you, and that's why families buy together one generation at a time. That's why people say we bought for the lifestyle, but we stayed for the legacy. I love it because you have so many options. You can buy a single family home or a townhome in the $300,000 range if you're just starting out, or if you're looking to downsize. You can live in a resort style gated community like Esplanade, Lakewood National, maybe Calusa, which is a new golf community. There's on-site restaurants, social calendars that make it feel like it's a cruise ship on land. You have villas, maintenance-free options, and then you have fully custom luxury enclaves like the Lake Club, Wild Blue, Kingfisher Estates, where you can buy homes in the $2 million range, high up to $7 million. And of course, with 40 plus neighborhoods, there's something for everybody in between. Now, Lakewood Ranch has expanded into 2 different counties, Sarasota County, Manatee County. There's new construction in both, but if you're wondering where's the newest part of Lakewood Ranch, where are the best townhomes or lakefront modern builds, then you need to talk about Waterside Place. Now, I've done a ton of videos about Waterside Place, homes there, townhomes there, the events that take place there. I'll be sure to put some links in the description down below for you to check those out. Now, Waterside is the southernmost and the fastest growing community within Lakewood Ranch. It's also the first community to cross into Sarasota County, and it is built around something rare in Florida, actual lakes. Big ones with town centers and restaurants and event lawns. There's even a water taxi that takes you from certain communities to Waterside Place. But here's what makes Waterside different. So there's about 11 different villages that are all walkable or bikeable, of course, drivable to Waterside Place, which is the town center. It is a blend of urban townhomes, lakefront estates, villas, luxury homes, and kind of everything in between. And then you have some of the best builders, Homes by Town, Pulte, Lee Wetherington, Toll Brothers, Arthur Ruttenberg. John Cannon is another one of the builders who are building in this area. And the great thing about the homes in Waterside, you can find something in the $400,000 range to over $6 million and everything in between. There are definitely 2 standout events that you definitely need to check out. First one is Ranch Night Wednesdays. By the way, it just ended. It will restart again in October. It goes October, closes down at the end of May because it gets rainy in the summertime. But there's also the Sunday Farmers Market, which is awesome, and that is open all year round. So this area is attracting a new wave of buyers, people who want the Florida lifestyle, but with walkability, design, and a community baked in. So Waterside is not just the edge of Lakewood Ranch, it's actually the next evolution of it. So we've talked numbers, we've talked builders, talked about some of the roads that are coming in, talked about the different price points, but here's the part that makes this video really matter, is because Lakewood Ranch isn't just succeeding because it looks good on paper, it's succeeding because it really feels like home. And here's what that means. Kids can bike to schools. There's 2 schools within Lakewood Ranch and a new one being built. Grandparents can host Sunday dinners right down the street. You can join a club. You can take a yoga class. You can go to the market. And you can still be home for dinner. You know your neighbors. At least you could know your neighbors. You see people walking the dogs after 8 o'clock at night because they feel safe. And in a world that feels more disconnected than ever, Lakewood Ranch keeps doing the one thing that most places forget. It makes life easier to live and better to share. And that is why a lot of families move here together. That is why retirees sell in Naples and in Tampa, and they come here instead. And that's why people who leave usually come back. If you've watched the channel, you know Jessica and I lived here for about 11 years, moved away to beautiful Maui, Hawaii, and then came back to Lakewood Ranch. True story. Because this isn't just a place to buy a home, it's a place to build a life that actually could work. You don't earn the title of the #1 multi-generational community in the whole entire United States for 7 years in a row by accident. Lakewood Ranch didn't just get lucky, didn't just ride a trend, it created one. It's a place that plans infrastructure before the houses, balances affordability with luxury, connects generations instead of separating them. I like that one. Offers choice without chaos, and delivers consistency in a state where that's anything but guaranteed. And it's not just a win for developers, it's a win for people who want to live together, not just live somewhere. And those are just a few of the reasons why Lakewood Ranch works. So let's be real for a second, can we? Because Lakewood Ranch, it definitely is not for everyone. And yes, I am a real estate agent who is telling you, this might not be for you. If you're looking for nightlife, if you're looking for an edgy downtown or funky old Florida beach towns, this is not it. If you're allergic to HOAs, or you hate the idea of master plans, you're definitely gonna feel boxed in here. But if you're looking for a safe place to raise your kids, now do your due diligence because every place has something. Or if you're looking for a connected place to retire without isolation, if you're looking for a flexible place where your family can live 5 minutes apart, well, then Lakewood Ranch doesn't just make sense, it could just make your life easier. And that's the reason that people keep coming back, even if they started somewhere else. Now, if you've watched this channel before, you know I just call it like it is. So I am not here to sell you a dream. I'm here to help you figure out if this lifestyle is actually a good fit for you. because that's what really matters. So if you want honest answers, real guidance, and zero pressure, do me a big favor. Schedule a 15-minute discovery call. You can scan this QR code. There's going to be a link in the description down below, as well as a link to a Lakewood Ranch relocation guide that we put together. And if you found this helpful, do us a big favor. Subscribe for more videos that tell you the truth about what's happening here in Lakewood Ranch without the fluff. My name is Adam Miller. This is Lakewood Ranch. We'll see you in the next video.